Right, it's time for business, and John Amako has joined me, and what we're hearing is that we're likely to see an increase in fuel prices.
Exactly, Israel. You know, per the price build-up structure, apart from the taxes on petroleum products, we do have the international price and then the currency fluctuation also impacting on how much we pay at the pumps, basically. And now we're seeing some, and it's the window is such that if we see some increase, an increase at the international level, sustainably for about 2 weeks, then prices must be adjusted. Exactly. So, we've seen some sustained increase in international prices. It used to be almost around 48. Now it's somewhere around, and it came down to about 52. Now it's dropped again. But then leaders or the powers that be are contemplating actually increasing or adjusting the price at the fuel pumps. But some groups are also saying that it's unjustifiable because the government should actually do as much as possible to cut down their taxes so we can have some relief when we get to the pump, basically.
Right. Yeah. So we have all the details coming up in the business report.
Thank you very much, Israel. And in business, be prepared to pay more for every liter of petroleum product purchased from this Thursday. The price of the various products may be reviewed this week in line with the week's window. Joy Viavi has more in this report.
Projections by Joy Business shows that prices could be going up by at least 2 to 3% per litre from this Thursday. Engaging some of the importers and marketers indicates that the jump has been influenced by the increasing price of crude oil on the international market and the recent sharp depreciation of the Ghana cedi. From our calculations, a litre of diesel could go up by at least 2%, which could result in a gallon being sold at around 19 Ghana cedis. However, it looks like petrol could still remain at around 16 Ghana cedis per gallon because our calculations points to a possible reduction or the price could be kept unchanged. However, with the information that most of the marketers are yet to factor in the recent depreciation of the Ghana cedi, then prices could go up by more than what we are projecting. But with the recent policy which allows the various marketers and importers to set their own prices, there is a likelihood that there might not be any increase in price depending on the service station that you drive to.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Ghana, says the latest price increase is unfortunate and unnecessary. The Executive Secretary of the Chamber, Duncan Amwa, laments the constant increase in petroleum prices while government do nothing to improve the many taxes on the price build-up. He spoke on the marketplace this afternoon.
From our projections also at the Chamber, we know the world market index is not likely to come down back to the 40 region anytime soon. So are we going to sit for every fortnight prices to go up 2-3%, 2-3%? Before you add, you've hit almost 20%, and that is quite significant on our pocket. One, we believe that government has been a bit slow in heeding to our call to ensure that taxes do come down in the minimum. But while taxes are not coming down, it looks as though the petroleum service providers also are looking for quite a windfall. If you ask, the comparative analysis we did this week, even for the South region, our neighbors Togo are able to sell petrol as we speak around 12-13 Ghana cedis, and it's quite fine and fair on their people. You'll be wondering how Ghana seems to be doing 16 plus. We're hitting almost 17, but then again, the least jump in world market index would have to affect all of us. Government continues to remain adamant in heeding to calls to at least reduce some of the taxes that they introduced on January 10th when the energy sector levies was introduced. That saw petrol prices move up by some 27%. Because according to government projections at the time, the budgeted export revenue that it was looking for from our Jubilee fields was around $3. But this was the case where around January 3rd, prices were around the $30 region. So government thought it wise to introduce new taxes to be able to still generate revenue to develop. But where you find prices going up back on the world market, what it means is that there's a correlation there where government will be able to at least get a little more from the Jubilee exports. So government should have by now, up to this point, seen to it that some of the taxes that is actually padded onto petroleum products will be done away with or removed completely. But this is a situation where the government is adamant. The petroleum service providers, of course, they would be looking to make their money, so they wouldn't look at anything. But you and I continue to suffer, and that is where we think if government does not heed, we are still monitoring. If by $63 a barrel, the government says it will still not heed, then we'll all take to the streets to demand what is fair to all of us, because the agreement between government and Ghanaians was that you needed revenue. You don't have to go borrowing to develop. At 53, today you are above 50, yet taxes remain at cutthroat, prices or rates.
Duncan Amoa is the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Consumers Association in Ghana here. Now, in other stories, the statistical services indicate that over 630,000 businesses were registered in the country in 2014. Out of this figure, almost 80% was made up of micro-enterprises. Here, more on the Integrated Business Establishment Survey report released by the Ghana Statistical Service.
The Integrated Business Establishment Survey was initiated in 2014 to provide credible data on the formal and informal businesses operating in the country to help in economic planning. It captured data on non-household businesses operating in the country. According to the report, about 83% of non-household businesses could be found in the services sector. Industry followed with 17%, while agriculture recorded less than 1%. Project coordinator Anthony Kwaka shared some more findings.
Yeah, we found out we have about 638,000 establishments in the country, and found about 3.4 million jobs. These 638,000 establishments employ about 3.4 million people in the country. And then for 2014, we also realized that about 208,000 jobs were created countrywide by these non-household establishments. Yes, you realize that in all, you see that about more than a third of these employments were in Greater Accra region, for instance, whilst the region has about a quarter of establishments. Now you realize that even though there are a lot of micro or small businesses, they do not contribute much to employment, unlike the large ones.
Launching the report on behalf of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Chief Director at the Ministry, Duanoba Baker, highlighted the importance of this report in shaping government's decisions.
Mr. Chairman, over the years, my ministry has successfully collaborated with the GSS to conduct industrial censuses which focus only on the industrial sector in Ghana. The current economic census, IBES, however, spans all sectors of the economy, and I am reliably informed that it is the first of its kind to be conducted in Ghana. This indeed is a great achievement, and my ministry is proud to be associated with it.
The Ghana Statistical Service is working on the second phase of the report, which would give detailed information on the 22 subsectors of the economy.
Now we move on to the market, or the financial market, to check how your commodities are doing. The stocks on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and also how the Ghana Cedi fared against the 5 major trading currencies here in Ghana. And on the Ghana Stock Exchange, today, the exchange saw almost about 300,700 in terms of volumes trading at a total value of about 268,370. That activity brought market capitalization to about 54,253.72 million Ghana cedis, as against 54,264. So quite some improvement there on the Ghana stock. And that saw the composite index marginally decreasing to about 11.89% year on year. And the financial index, that's the measure of the financial stocks on the exchange, also to about 14.19% year on year. So that's exactly how the market is doing. The recovery program is actually not working for the Ghana stock. And now let's look at the various equities that really moved the market today as close. EGH actually topped after it returned 1 pesewa to close the market at 6 Ghana cedis, 35 pesewas per share, followed by GCB Bank, which also gained 1 to their investors after it traded almost about 3 Ghana cedis and 5 pesewas. UTB also followed. That's yet UT Bank also added 1 to their investors' capital to close the market at 8 pesewas per share. And then EGL also did lose 1 pesewa as it traded that way. Now the commodities, crude oil as we speak is trading around $49.64 after losing 70 cents per barrel, as gold gained $2.48 to be trading around 1,285.19 cents per ounce. And finally, cocoa, after losing $2, is trading currently around 3,107 per ton. So that's exactly how the commodity market is actually looking at. These are the three major commodities of Ghanaian interest. Now let's look at how the Ghana cedi did fare against the major trading currencies. Against the United States dollar, the cedi lost some value there today. British pound, the cedi gained against it, gained against the euro, lost against the Chinese yuan or the renminbi, and also did lose against the CFA franc. So tomorrow, for one United States dollar, you need about 3 Ghana's 88, and 150 CFA will also give you that. So that will be it for business and the market here. My name is John Kojo Amoko. Let's make a date tomorrow here. Have a good evening. The news still continues.